Hey, it's Ray. Ray Langley at your service, virtual entertainer and wolf girl extraordinaire. Welcome to a very impromptu guerrilla chat. I am. I just woke up not too long ago. And, oh, hey, Army. Good to see you. I'm glad somebody's here to see this. Right off the bat. Um, so, um, I just woke up to the news about one of my favorite sci-fi television shows, Doctor Who. For those who are unaware, Doctor Who is a long-running science fiction, time-traveling, space-traveling show from the UK. Has been running since 1963 and has had one notable hiatus in 1989, coming back in 2005 until today. Um, I just saw a posting from the BBC that there is no Christmas special this year, and that Doctor Who is out to tender, which, after looking that up, essentially means they're shopping around for people or studios to make future material of the show with. Um, so, Doctor Who is just about dead again. And before I get any further, do know that there are going to be spoilers discussed in this chat. So, because I'm just, this is all off the cuff. Again, I just woke up. This is all off the cuff, knee jerk reactions, and this is essentially me posting through it. Which I'm told you're not supposed to do, but I needed to just talk about it somewhere. Yeah, we do have Big Finish, but in terms of mainline television, televised Doctor Who, we will have nothing for an indeterminate amount of time, and it seems like we're gearing up to head into another wilderness era, which is fun. Um, so yeah, basically, that entire cliffhanger at the end of the reality war was pointless. Russell T Davies has gone on record in his Instagram post saying farewell to the show that he never wrote a script for a Christmas special. We were all just yanked around for no damn good reason. And yeah, it's it's just I'm vexed. I'm extremely vexed. I have been a fan of the show since not that long comparative to many other people. A good sixth of the show's run. Uh, I have been a fan since 2011, so for about 15 years. Okay, maybe a quarter of the show's life then. I have been a fan of the show for 15 years. I started with the 11th Doctor, went back uh, to 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and so on. I have watched only a little bit of Classic Who, but I intend to fix that now that I have a means of doing so via Tubi, which is a free streaming service in the United States. So I have a way to finally get my hands on some Classic Who streaming. I know I should get my hands on physical media, but money and all that. So, but all this to say, I at least have an opinion on the show. Now, again, I can't speak much for the classic era, but in terms of the revival era, which is 2005 to 2026, God, we're going to have to call it something different because it's not revival anymore. It's dead. What are we going to call it? Revival 2? Let's not do that because Russell T Davies 2 didn't go so well now, did it? And just. I liked Russell T Davies' first run. Ninth and 10th Doctor were great. I think overall, however, much of that script was mostly carried by the actors. And the same could be said for the Moffat era. Um, 11 and 12, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi, fantastic actors. Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, amazing actors. And, they just carried the script with them. And obviously, Murray Gold composing helped. But at least the weaknesses of the scripts were covered for by the performances of the actors and the fact that there was a modicum of competence behind them. Then Chris Chibnall happened. Now, I've seen some online reactions saying that we owe Chibnall an apology. No, we don't. No, I don't. And Chris Chibnall deserves nothing. He is part of the reason we're here today. He is part of the reason that Doctor Who is in the state that it's in. It's because of him that Russell T Davies came back, took the reins again, and tried to effectively continue on from what the hell that was to ill effect. Classic 2, more Wilderness Boogaloo. And you know what? And you know what really makes me sad? What really makes me sad is that Gallifrey 1, which is a convention, a Doctor Who convention that has been hosted at the Los Angeles Airport Marriott Hotel for going on 37 years now, I believe, since during the first Wilderness era, is concluding operations with its 38th run year after next, which I believe will be 2028. So a convention that has survived the first Wilderness era is phasing out, and this was already planned long before this announcement. So they announced that in 2025, but the con is concluding right as we're about to hit another Wilderness. That's just bleak. I liked the Chibnall era. Look, no like personal grudge if you did like the Chibnall era. I personally think that Chibnall was bad as a writer. I just think that the Timeless Children was a terrible plot device that completely recontextualizes the Doctor for the worse, and that the Flux was just not handled well. I think that Moffat could have maybe done that a little better. I just think that it wasn't well thought out. It was a lot of big ideas that just wasn't either given enough time due to the COVID pandemic at the time, or just due to a certain failing as a main writer. Chibnall has good episodes. 42, which was the 10th Doctor episode where the company is harvesting a living sun. I think that was a brilliant episode. I think that was an amazing plot, and the writing in that was amazing. I know I'm reusing a lot of words. I'm not really eloquent right now, but I think Chibnall has writing capability. He wouldn't be a showrunner if not. But I think as a main writer, he just couldn't realize the ideas that he had with the payoff wasn't as good as it could have been. And I think that as well, I have personal gripes with I just have personal gripes with how he wrote certain things in that run. I just think the way he wrote the Doctor was a little perhaps too minimalist. I liked his companions. Actually, I'm listen, I'm not even really talking as my performer self right now. The mask is very loose, but I'm currently doing a rewatch of the modern era of Doctor Who. I've been going from 9 all the way back up to where it currently is, and I've just finished the Flux event. So I literally have fresh memories of Timeless Children and the Flux in my head right now. And I think that he wrote the companions decently. I think Graham, Ryan, and Yaz are fantastic. Obviously, I have nothing but positive things to say about their actors. You know, giving giving great performance to the scripts, and carrying the characters well. I have no faults with them for that. I just think that he forgot to write the doctor. And Jodie Whittaker does Ray need a hug? I won't necessarily say no to one, but um I think Jodie Whittaker had the physicality of the Doctor very well. On a rewatch, I pay a little less attention to the scripts and a little more to the body acting, the facial acting, the vocal delivery of lines. And Jodie, at points, you can see where she's channeling other doctors. I can see her face when she's like thinking or taking in some words, and I see David Tennant, or when she speaks, and there's a certain animated way that she moves or something. Then I see Matt Smith. Um, she's got all the like excitable puppy energy of Eccleston. I haven't seen much Capaldi in her acting, but that's fine. You know, you're supposed to put a little bit of yourself in there too. So I think Jodie did a fantastic job. It's just that she wasn't given much to work with. Um, but anyway, before this turns into a Chibnall hate fest, like this is not about him. This is not about him at all. Russell T Davies is the enemy here, and Christopher Eccleston was right in every capacity. I didn't doubt him, but he was completely right. I just again, I'm just talking through it right now. Maybe I just want to hear my own thoughts out loud. Maybe I'm pulling a doctor and I just want to hear myself speak. But I think there's two very core components to this. The first component is Doctor Who itself. Doctor Who, the entity, Doctor Who, the cultural export, the significant pillar of television history that it is. There's a certain reverence that comes with the title. There's a certain amount of respect that is earned by being Doctor Who, the television show. It revolutionized sci-fi. It was there from black and white into the color age of television and into the digital age and streaming and all that. It has been there basically through all major stages of television broadcast, and that cannot be anything less than an absolute juggernaut of production. It has survived so many different aspects of filmmaking, essentially, and productions. And I think that Doctor Who, the entity, the show that it is, the linchpin of history that it is, television history, and Doctor Who, the family friendly, all ages, sci fi, silly show, are two states of existence that couldn't coincide with each other. It formed a paradox, like two TARDISes sort of colliding with each other, like in Time Crash when 10 and 5 had a brief overlap of their TARDISes because 10 forgot to raise his shields or whatever. Um, I think the cultural monolith, the obelisk of Doctor Who, and its reality of being essentially a kid show, a family friendly show, at the least, just couldn't reconcile with each other. And part of that is due to modern attitudes on the corporate side of things. Corporations these days, of all walks, from all types of media production and goods production, and no matter what you do as a corporation, Every single corporation these days has exponential, continuous, infinite growth in their minds. That's why they took the Disney deal. That's why they're shopping around now for further studio investment. Because Doctor Who is such an important show that they want to keep inflating and inflating and inflating the budgets, the special effects, the this and that, and it just can't sustain itself under its own weight because there is no such thing as infinite growth. There is no such thing as just stacking money, throwing money at it to improve it. I think personally, Doctor Who was better when it was on a budget of £5 and a tuna sandwich. From what I've seen of classic Who, which isn't much. Again, it's mostly been Third Doctor era, who is currently my favorite of the classic Doctors. But again, I need more frame of reference before I can make a decision. I think it was absolutely brilliant when they had to improvise, when they had to think, when they had to use practical effects, when they had to make magic out of nothing. Um, I just and the second component of this is Russell T Davies himself. Now, there were obviously weaknesses in his writings in 9 and 10's era, but they weren't made that apparent. Whatever happened during the pandemic and its subsequent consequences, I don't know what happened. No one can probably say for sure, but the quality of writing just dropped. And part of that is because he inherited plot points from Chibnall that he had to write through and write around, and that's just the duty of every succeeding Doctor Who showrunner and writer. You have to pick up the pieces that were left by the previous one and weave them together into or weave your own part of the tapestry with the thread that was left behind. And there were some difficulties with that. But what I cannot blame Chibnall for and refuse to and lay entirely at Davies' feet is the reality war. Now, obviously, some extenuating circumstance. Inshutigatwa left a season ahead of time. I believe he was due for 3 seasons, instead only did 2. And so they had to hastily write a different ending, aka a regeneration. And um, as a result, we got the now infamous, been infamous, but possibly one of the most tarnishing blemishes in the show's history, leaving off on a single image of Inshutigatwa regenerating into an unnamed character played by Billy Piper. If I could smoke indoors right now, I might have just taken a drag, but I just. What a final image to leave off on. Wait, he did? I don't remember anything from the Chibnall era coming back. The flux is mentioned, and also as a result of the flux, that's how the Pantheon got through or something. Basically, the way Russell wrote it, the flux left a hole at the edge of the universe, and when the Doctor went there, it sort of invited the pantheon to come through or something, and that because of the toy maker, the celestial toy maker coming through, sort of was able to bring the rest of his friends, and that's how you got the Doctor fighting these gods like Lux and Maestro and all that stuff. It it wasn't done well. Um, Wait, Ray smokes. Rarely, only very, very rarely. I try not to make a habit of it because honestly, not my favorite thing to do, but you know, every now and again, just maybe socially, you know. Anyway, um, and it's never a tobacco cigarette. I only do like CBD or um, cloves. There are cigarettes that are just made with like cloves, like the spice. It's nice. It's actually very soothing. Clove cigarettes. I like those. Anyway, the Pantheon is an older idea from the Sarah Jane Adventures. Sure, but it was bridged into the mainline show via the Flux. I know that a lot of I can't deny that the current writers of Doctor Who are fanboys, capital F, capital B. They are fanboys, and they will bring in like classic references that I have no context for currently, and stuff like that. They do their homework, but it just and this is a nitpick because again I'm just talking through it, but Davies has a weird problem with letting David Tennant die. David Tennant doctors die. Like in the 10th Doctor run, he did the Meta Crisis, which was previously an unknown slash impossible thing to be able to do. I believe the show stated like the in universe explanation was that like that wasn't really supposed to be a thing or whatever. Um, and then in oh hey Candace, okay I'll catch you up to speed. Just be careful early if you watch the VOD of this. There are spoilers being discussed. But long story short, the BBC has made a statement saying that Doctor Who is currently not going through with the Christmas special this year and is being sent out to tender, which is basically they're shopping around for new studios to invest in the show and make production with because Bad Wolf Studios has officially parted ways with the BBC and are no longer making Doctor Who media episodes. Effectively, I woke up to the news that the Doctor has graduated. Um, so yeah, and so I'm just talking through it. I'm rambling. I'm talking about spoilery stuff. So just be careful that I am talking about things that I know that you haven't seen yet, because you're only at the 13th Doctor, and there's stuff ahead that, yeah, but um, it's just been a hell of a morning, and I think there are so many ways this could have been prevented. Number one, stop coming to Earth. A lot of the series takes place on Earth, and in the classic era, it made sense because the Third Doctor was exiled there and had the TARDIS taken away from him, or at least had the ability for the TARDIS to travel taken away from him, or something like that. But there's so many adventures in Classic Who that are off planet, that are in different times, like the first Doctor going to the Roman Empire and spending some time there and stuff like that, or going to the far future and stuff like that. Like, I think, for one thing, the show being set in quote unquote present day London or thereabouts was a bad idea. Yes, there are, you know, plenty of times where they go to just slightly ahead in the future or a little bit in the past, and definitely a lot of intergalactic adventures. But I think that there's a certain increase of present day setting, and there is definitely a lack of diversity of companions chronologically. All the companions are modern day, present time period people. Rose Tyler, Martha Jones, Donna Noble, Amy and Rory Pond, Clara Oswald, Bill Potts. Nardo is a rare exception, but Yaz, Graham, and Ryan. All of those companions are from the approximate present time that the show was being filmed or aired, and um, I I just think that lacking that sort of diversity among the companions limited the possibilities of the show a little bit, hampered it. Most classic Who takes place in space. Oh, see, we don't talk about the Eurovision episode. um, but I just that's more an issue with the classic as well. Like the last different companion was the end of the Fourth Doctor era. Oh, that was end of four. Was that Romana or Leela? I know those names. I just don't. I just haven't actually seen them in as much context yet. But I, I don't know. So like I feel like we need more companions from different points in time. Uh, I know that the companions are audience surrogates. I get that, but at the same time, this is a timey-wimey space and time travel show. We can pick someone with relative equivalent problems to modern day people and just recontextualize them a little bit to make that sort of sympathy connection while still having them be narratively from a different point in time. Imagine having a companion from the year 2259 or even a companion from the year 1676 or something like that. You know what I mean? Like just picking picking companions from different points in time would make things more interesting. Imagine having both of those companions from the years I just listed. Imagine having to reconcile all the differences that happen in the 6 centuries that separate them. That would be amazing, I think, at least. Um, oh, Adric. Adric. Um, what do you call it? Um, and this is a show with a lot of legacies, so I don't buy into oh, let's not rely on nostalgia. I get it to a certain point. Having certain actors return is not necessarily always a good call. But we have so many classic Who monsters that haven't been shown much. We had the Autons once. We had the Zygons twice. But it's usually just the same Dalek, Cyberman, Santarin, sort of creatures with occasional new stuff, and very rarely they'll throw a Silurian in. Um, yeah, Jamie from the Second Doctor, literal 1800s Scottish guy. I loved. I loved what I saw of that. Second Doctor is one of my favorites of the classics as well. Like I know I said third. Third is definitely like the favorite of the classics that I've seen, but I love two, and I can see where Matt Smith got the inspiration from. Um, but I just there's a lot of things that went wrong here. Um, and again, I think a lot of it is just that honestly, the writing room is a little stale. Like, I think we need another showrunner who is far and away different from Davies, Chibnall, and Moffat. I think, obviously, I don't automatically think that X qualifier equals better writer. But what I do believe is that if we get a different type of writer, whether it's a black person or a woman, a different person of color, or a person of, different uh, types of queerness, they can all pull from different experiences that can influence their writing. And again, that doesn't automatically make it better writing, but I think it makes it different writing. And I think different is good. Like, I have a lot of things I can say about Chibnall, but writing things from the perspective of a female doctor and the sort of challenges that women face wasn't necessarily a bad idea. Actually, I think The Witchfinders is a pretty good episode for that because it shows that the doctor who can normally talk themselves out of any situation no longer has that ability due to how inherently unfair and misogynistic the witch trials were. It's impossible to talk your way out because, well, you're already guilty. So anything further is just devilry, like stuff like that was a great concept. I just wish we got more of that rather than just offhand, "Oh yeah, I'm a girl now" comments. Um, stuff like that. Um, the let's see, the nostalgia rehash was an issue in classic as well. Eventually, it was just reusing the same enemies. Didn't 12 have an android in his team in the last season? Yeah, that's why I refer to Nardole as the one exception. And Nardole was kind of more of a secondary companion compared to Bill, and then further tertiary once Missy joined the picture. So just hire the big finish team. Yeah, honestly, like I the one good thing I can see about this new wilderness era is now I have all the time. I have all the time that I want to visit the classic era, to check out the Big Finish audio adventures, and truly have Paul McGann as my favorite Doctor, because I hear the Eighth Doctor audio adventures are some of the best. Nardo was an android? Yes. He was I think an alien, and then Hydroflax took his head and put him on that big ass like Blood Raven Warhammer body of his. Remember? And then um, he's still in there by the end of the Husbands of River Song, but then when series 10 starts, suddenly he has a body again. It's because he says that 12 cuts him out of Hydroflax to put him in a new body and keep him around or whatever like that. Like it was a thing. I can't believe I actually called him Hydro Flask. Why did they name him that anyway? Um, but yeah, I think changing the showrunner to someone dramatically different would be a good step. Obviously, someone who obviously someone who proves they have writing chops. I don't want just anybody in there because, it's a big responsibility being showrunner, especially for a show as long-standing as Doctor Who is. You need someone who can prove that they can write with the best of them. And I think I think having somebody with a different background and good writing skill can really add some new X factor to the show that it sorely needs, because sure, Russell T Davies is a gay man, but he's still a white man. You know what I mean? That only changes so much when you still benefit from uh you know being white in England. Like there's I want to see other perspectives, and I don't want to see just a black writer in there just so they can write the racism episodes. Okay, Rosa Parks, that was enough. I don't want that again, please. um but we need people from different backgrounds with different experiences to add different splashes of life to the show, and I think that would go a long way in helping with that. We also need at all costs to get Murray to keep Murray Gold employed at the BBC, because that guy can compose the best scores of my life. I think when I die, I need the Shepherd's Boy to be playing. Demons of the Punjab was actually a pretty good episode. I do like that one. Um, we also need, I believe, a newcomer actor. When the show gets off of hiatus, we don't need another legacy actor. We don't need to bring back an existing face. We don't need this or that. I think what we need is somebody who maybe has some experience on stage theater, but is a relative newcomer to television program. And we need them so that they can add, again, that touch of new and different to the show. It'll give it a different feel, because obviously England does a lot of theater. So that's why their actors are usually so well rounded. But we need somebody who hasn't done much television so that they can still use their theater like habits and have that captured on the camera. I think that would make for a brilliant uh, Doctor portrayal, especially with how old the Doctor is by this point. So it would. I'm just spitballing here, but um, yeah, new showrunner, keep Murray Gold, new actor, um, and just companions from different walks of life. I would even take. I would take a. I. You know what I think? Actually, a non-human companion would be great. Even if you have to split the difference and have one human companion, you should also have a non-human companion. And humanoid is one thing, but I want basically like Silurian levels of makeup. I want that person to be distinctly not human. Something you can sort of see human features on and anthropomorphize, but something distinctly not of the human race. I have a proposal. Can we make it fully serialized again? Like an issue in New Who is modern serialization, so it all blends into each other. I want a season uh, finale that is just an episode. Hmm, that would be an interesting idea. I do know that like Classic Who had much longer serials. Like for example, their story arcs took multiple parts, whereas nowadays it's like, yeah, you'll get two parters for the finales, maybe sometimes three parters, but other than that, you don't really get that. It's all just like very, it is a bit episodic in that way, and I do think that we could benefit from having longer serialization. I kind of want that, but makeup is a nightmare over time. That's true. That's fair. I get that. But I'm just, like I said, I'm just spitballing. Like in my, if if the BBC reached out to me today and said, "Okay, we will let you be showrunner if you have an idea for what you want to do, and we'll see what we can realize it with," then that's the kind of stuff I would say. I would be like, "Okay, you know what? Get someone who's really good with stage theater makeup. They can make somebody look like a freaking werewolf on uh 150 €150 Ben Nye makeup set, and the loose hair that I brush off my cat." You know what I mean? Like, I think that like we need people who are great at improvising and not necessarily higher budgets and higher technical specs. Um, we need people who kind of want what the OG show did with Chameleons. With spoilers, Chameleons a shapeshifter, so have two Peter Davids on screen. The classic show never uses that fact once. Yeah, like stuff like that. That would actually be an amazing idea, and even more reason we should get a theater actor, because then they can act for two, like, easily. The prop they used, because the prop they used for Chameleon, the actor died, so the team had this robot to. Oh, well, that's fascinating. It sucks to hear about the actor, but wow, that's actually, see, that's what I'm saying. Making magic out of nothing, turning, even losing one of your actors as a way of like, okay, well, how can we keep this going? And that's what they did from the beginning. Okay, well, our lead actor is getting a little bit old and is starting to not be able to do his scripts anymore. What do we do? Oh, I know. Let's have the doctor be able to renew himself into a younger person, into another person, so we can have another actor in the role and thus keep the show going. That's what we need. We need that kind of ingenuity back in the show. Was it worth it? Was the Disney money worth it? Anyway, I think I'm running out of things to say. I think I'll start talking myself in circles at this point, but in 2 episodes. Okay, well then they should do it more often in the new version. They should take that idea and make it more long running. That's a great concept that needs to go further. I think that, you know, uh with modern technology, we can more easily green screen an actor twice and have them play themselves as two different characters. And I mean, look, if Michael B. Jordan can be twins for a whole movie, I think we can have this happen for like at least a one series companion. Like, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's what I would do. And again, I'm not a professional. I'm not British. I'm not anywhere near the sphere of influence or technical skill that it takes to make a show. I am a fan who sees flaws in what has been happening in the past few years and just has ideas to at least change it up, if not improve it. Which I think it could improve it, but again, that's just me. So, yeah, I don't know. This isn't how I wanted to wake up today. I did not want to wake up to Doctor Who graduating. This sucks. This timeline sucks, okay? The Dr. Langley fan show. Okay, but you know what? I would love to make my own like Time Lord OC and do a. I have free will. I don't have a lot of technical skill, but I have free will. I don't have a lot of time necessarily. Putting a pin in that. uh Drawing stream. Oh, I am an absolutely dreadful artist. You don't want to see that. You don't want to see that. I promise you don't want to see that. Also, literally what people did in the wilderness years, most of Big Finish's weird fanfic. Hell yeah. You know what? Let's make magic out of nothing. Let's turn the death of the show into magic and use that as a plot device. Let's go, guys. Does that mean I get to be the companion, or is that too much nepotism? Definitely too much nepotism. You're gonna have to audition like everybody else. You know what? Maybe I want to make a couple of audio adventures. We'll see. We'll see. We're gonna. You know what? I like this idea way too much. Army, what have you done? To be fair, it's kind of funny it ended with Omega of all characters. Like, my fanfic was literally one season where Omega goes on adventures but thinks he's the doctor. You should have written the last season! Jesus! That's brilliant! Ray Langley Doctor Who voice packs. It's just gonna be me saying all the different doctors' catchphrases. Doctor Who voice pack, hmm? Oh my giddy aunt, etc. I reversed the polarity of the neutron flow. Would you like a jelly baby? Does have a catchphrase? Does 5 through 8 have catchphrases? Fantastic. Hello, on Z. I wear a bow tie now. Bow ties are cool. I wear a fez now. Fezzes are cool. Insert one of 12th Doctor's speeches here. uh I think that at least them not having a Christmas special this year, while it's disappointing, it's better than putting out something that they it's better than putting out something they didn't think was good and something that we definitely would not have liked. If I don't, who will? Carrot juice, carrot juice, carrot juice. Everything Seven says is too iconic. Ah. All right. Well, like I think I've said my piece. I think I've vented my frustrations and my sadness. And now you guys have given me hope. You've That's the trouble with hope. What was the line? 12 said it was like um it was like it was when Missy started showing signs that she might actually want to be good and they could be friends again. And I think yeah, that you guys you guys are you guys are giving me hope, and that's the trouble with hope. It's it's too hard to resist. But yeah, I'm definitely looking at this whole situation a little differently now. Like I already was seeing the bright side, but now you guys have given me an additional you guys broke an additional hole in the ceiling, and now there's more sunlight in this. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see where it goes from here, but while we're waiting for the show to come back, why don't we have a little fun? Oh, that's also a good one. That's also a good one. Without hope, without witness, without reward. 5 Ray streams in 1 week, girls treating us. Yeah, I got lucky. There was enough topical stuff to do. The Nintendo Direct yesterday, Doctor Who's cancellation slash hiatus slash whatever the hell situation today. It's just nice to be able to just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a quick thumbnail, hop on stream, and just chatter at you guys for an hour. Massive rain pouring down at my place. Oh man. I'd send you some of my Los Angeles sun if I could. Unless you guys need the rain, in which case. Okay, well, I don't want to just idly chatter too much or start repeating myself and talking in circles. So even though I don't want to go, I should. I'll be back later on today anyway in about 8 hours. 8 to 10 hours, depending on how things go. I might have to push back the Ace Attorney stream a little bit, but I'm still gonna definitely do it this afternoon. Um, but yeah. Uh, I will be back. Yes, one day I'll come back. Until then, there must be no worries, no tears, no regrets. Just go forth in your beliefs and. Oh god, this is just turning into a quoting stream. And prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine. Ah. All right. Well, thank you for showing up to my rambles and just letting me talk and just letting me be silly for a bit. Thank you all, my wonderful Rainiacs and Langsters. If you're watching this on the VOD, I did say there were spoilers, so I hope that I didn't, you know, say anything too bad. But yeah, I'll see you guys later today. And until then, make sure you eat well, stay hydrated, and get lots of good rest. Be kind to yourselves, and be excellent to each other. And as always, unshrimp yourselves. And I suppose if we're going off on a Doctor Who quoting tangent, um, laugh hard, run fast, be kind. Chat, I let you go. Oh no, that's a good one too. The Seventh Doctor one. Yeah. Somewhere there's injustice. Somewhere there's somewhere the tea's getting cold. Come on, Rainiacs. There's work to do. All right. I'm gonna go now. I take care, everyone. I'll see you for Ace Attorney later. Bye bye.